Shalom. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone. I want to say peace, safety, much love, and blessing to the Akim across the four corners of the earth that are pushing out this truth and sincerity and putting their lives on the line to do so. Shalom to you, brothers. Back in the spirit with another lesson. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying, but also exhorting to an elect member or two. And in this lesson, I'm just going to speak a few words on adversity. Okay. This is Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 10. It says, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. All right. And adversity, I have it pulled up here on the online etymology, and it says the condition of misfortune, hardship, difficulty, distress. Yeah, that's pretty much what I want to condition of misfortune, hardship, difficulty, distress is why I want to focus in here on this lesson, because when coming to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you should prepare yourself for adversity, hardships, misfortunes, difficulties, and distress. All right. You're not going to be brought into something as precious as being a servant of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and being a hopeful elect without going through anything. Anything worth having is worth suffering for. Okay. That's with anything, man. Not only the truth, but anything that you want that is of any value in life, there's adversity that must be conquered while getting to your ultimate goal, whatever that may be. If it's starting a business, you know, your business is going to take a loss within the first 3 to 5 years. You may not see profit. You know, you may go through bankruptcy or whatever the case may be. That's adversity, man. And what separates the weak or the faint from those of courage and strength is how they respond to adversity. Okay. Are you going to close up shop and just say, fuck it? You know, I had, you know, a lot of misfortunes and you just going to let that be your story? Or are you going to take your licks and keep pushing? And that's also the mentality, the mentality we abide by to the best of our ability when serving Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because the scriptures tell us, therefore endure hardness, you know, and adversity goes into hardship. It says the scriptures tell us to endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. So Proverbs 24 and 10 said, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. You know, and I played ball with guys like that. You know, when we were winning or when things were going as planned in games or in practice, they the loudest ones in the room. You know, they're happy and jovial playing around. But as soon as we get an L or we got to run a couple of extra suicides, you know, certain guys want to play hurt or want to play sick so they can sit out because they weren't made for hardships, adversity, difficulties, and distress. They just want to coast through life, so to speak. They don't want anything to challenge them. And with challenges comes growth, you know, and it's the same thing in the truth. Coming to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is not an easy task. No man in the scriptures, our forefathers had it completely 100% easy, man. They went through things. You know, look at Job, look at Daniel, Moses, Abraham, all of them, man, faced some type of adversity. Paul went through shipwreck, you know, went through perils of his own countrymen, you know, his own people coming against him. He was bitten by a snake. Paul went through all types of adversity, man. You know, but he knew that if he fought through the adversity, there was a reward at the end of at the end of the adversity that he faced, you know. And we have to keep these things in mind when we feel like, you know, shit ain't going our way or we catching pure hell. Just know that it's for, hey, the Lord chasteneth who he loveth. That's what the scriptures say. And a form of chastening is distress and condition of misfortune. No one likes getting their ass beat, you know. No one likes being down, you know. But, hey, the scriptures also tell you that you should know how to be abased. Those that are exalted shall be abased, and those that are abased shall be abound. The Lord deals with both sides of the coin. So you can't just take all the credit and be happy when things are going your way and credit that to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And then when you face adversity, you always want to say it's Satan. You know, it don't work like that. Matter of fact, from there I'm going to go to the book of Sirach, the 11th chapter and verse 14. It says, prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. So the Lord doeth all these things, man. Prosperity, adversity, life, death, poverty, and riches. So you have to give the Lord an account of that as well. The good with the bad, the bitter with the sweet. You know, the scriptures tell you that the bitterness of the scriptures, are compared to wormwood and a gall, okay, which are very bitter plants, you know. So you got to chew on the bitter with the sweet, man. You know, that's a form of facing adversity, okay. So, matter of fact, stay in the book of Sirach 2. I start at verse 4. It says, this Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 2 and 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Hey, and I read this word again, man, adversity in the online etymology. It says condition of misfortune, hardship, difficulty, distress. That sounds like a lower state to me. And what does the scripture say about it? Again, here in Proverbs, Sirach 2 and 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. It didn't say just take the good cheerfully and the bad, you know, you give credit to Satan for that. Oh, that's just Satan fucking with me or this. No, man, that's the Lord refining you and putting you through that process, putting that fire to your ass, and see whether you gonna faint in the face of adversity or whether you're gonna endure and come out as fine gold. All right. So it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Acceptable men. That's the key word, acceptable. Are you acceptable to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai? If you are, you're going to take your adversity and roll with the punches, you know. It says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. I'd rather be tried in the furnace of adversity, you know, than to eat a missile, you know, and and feel that fire. Okay, this is a small fire, man. You know, we count it all towards the ministry. You know, this is what we signed up for, and you can take this in your everyday life and apply it as well too, man. If you want to get to anything, like I said earlier in the lesson, that is worth having, it's just, man, it's gonna happen, man. So scrap up, put on your boots, man, and endure like a soldier for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. You know, see, that's the thing. Jacob go through all type of hell on the workplace and their personal life. Be with a chick that mistreat him and always putting his ass in misfortunes and hardships. But he'll endure that for 10, 12, however long years. But when it comes to serving Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you catch a little hell and you check the hell out within 6 months, you know. That's the thing with our people, man. They want everything to come easy. They don't want to be tested, you know. It says, verse 6, believe in him and he will help thee, order thy way aright and trust in him. All right. So, man, this was just a quick exhorting lesson. Our jobs to exhort daily. So this is just, my addition to the exhortation to the ministry or the hopefully elect, and Lord willing, it was exhorting, but also edifying. I want to end it by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash, Shalom.